On to PyFluent real quickly. The main thing I wanted to point out on this slide, I've lost my little pen again, pointer, is full backward compatibility. So as of 2024 R2, if you write a PyFluent script now, in 5 years from now, you should be able to run that script. It should be fully backwards compatible as of 2024 R2. So don't worry. If you've been holding back because you've been seeing that it's like an area of active development, don't worry. It's now, everything that you do now is going to work in the future. And with PyFluent, there's sort of two APIs that it's had. There's been like the TUI-based API, which is kind of like regular journal scripting, like old school bad scripting essentially, and the new settings-based API, which is what I'm going to show you in a sec. What this is essentially showing us is that the new settings-based API is almost fully featured. So you can now use like proper Pythonic scripting for pretty much every single feature in Fluent now. So I'm just going to show how I actually would go about making a PyFluent script, right? I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this, but I just want to show some of my favorite little tips and tricks. So the first one there was the web UI where it spat out the Python code, very handy. The other thing that I want to show, again, I'll just show it in the launcher real quickly so you can see how I got to this point. In the general options, you'll see that I've ticked this this box for the beta version of the Python console. So what that does is when you come into Fluent, rather than having your standard like TUI-based console in here, it's now a Python window. And what that lets me do is I can sort of query objects that already exist, right? So I've got my velocity inlet here. And say I have no idea how to script that. What I can do is sort of fumble my way through here and have a look at how it is configured after it's already been done in the GUI, and then copy the code and put it in my script. So with the settings-based API, it's pretty much just follows the GUI layout. So all you need to do is start with solver, because we're in solver mode. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I want setup, right? Because I'm trying to get to that velocity inlet. So I'm going to type in setup there. And then I'm going to go for boundary conditions there. And then I'm going to go for velocity inlet. And I'm going to tell it the name of my, actually, no, I'll just do this. So this is pretty much everything in here is callable. So I'm just going to do that, and it will spit out the current dictionary value for my velocity inlet. So if I wanted to, I could just copy this whole thing here and essentially just in my scripts over here, paste this whole thing if I wanted to, and put an equals there, and that would do it. That's still quite messy. So what I might want to do is just go like a little bit further. So I'll press up, and I'm going to tell it that I'm looking for this one that is just called inlet, right? And then what I want to do is just change the velocity, right? So under the momentum configuration, which again, for in here, it's on the momentum tab, right? So it's very much following the GUI layout. But momentum, right? Then I am going to do, well, from here, I can hit tab and see what's available to me, right? Or I could just call that as well. I want the whole thing, right? So again, I could change my velocity specification method, or what I actually want to do here is change the velocity itself, right? So up here, momentum, velocity, right? Then I want to set the value. So use value equals, let's change that back to 20. So I won't go through the whole case, but that was just to kind of show that if you have the Python console active, it's really easy to sort of play with your graphical objects, sort of query them in the console here, and then use that in your script. And now I'm just going to very quickly show why you even might want to go about doing something like this, like what the advantages are over a TUI script. Oops. So I've just written a really quick example here that uses that same case. And what it does is it comes through, it loads the case, right? That was the case there. And I've just made a list here of inlet conditions. So it's got like 5, 10, 15, and 20 meters per second. Then what it's going to do is it's going to loop through, it's going to set one of these inlet conditions, it's going to initialize, it's going to solve, it's going to make some contours, it's going to write the data, then it's going to go back up to the top and change the inlet velocity. So rather than like opening and closing Fluent 4 times, it's just one session. We just keep changing the inlet velocity and letting it cycle through. So hopefully this will run nicely for us in the background.